So when I think about the word, the Lord says, "For even when we were with you, we gave you this rule. The one who is unwilling to work shall not eat." We hear that some among you are idle and disruptive. They are not busy, they are busybodies. Such people we command and urge in the Lord Jesus Christ to settle down and earn the food they eat. That is found in Second Thessalonians chapter 3, verses 10 through 12. I know you're like, what are you talking about, Crystal? Let me tell y'all something. The one thing I've been hearing so much people talking about is, oh, they're cutting our benefits. They're cutting our benefits. They're cutting away the food stamps. They're cutting away the Medicaid. They don't want people to have Medicaid. And for the life of me, I'm like, are we not hearing the same thing? Are we not seeing the same thing? What do I mean by that? I know I'm seeing that there are a lot of people actually taking advantage of the benefits. There are people who should not be on the system that are on the system. There are illegal immigrants that are on the system that should not be on the system. There are people who are able bodied and able to do all the work that is necessary to do, and they're on the system. So then when there are people who actually need the benefits, somehow or the other, there's not enough to be able to take care of them. There are people who actually need it and they can't get help. So when I find people arguing me hands down about how I forgot my roots, you know who you are, and I don't understand, I forgot where I came from. No, I didn't forget where I came from because I didn't come from fraud. Okay. I didn't come from fraud. I didn't come from a place where my source is the government. My source is and will always be God. That's my source. So what am I talking about? Let me share with you guys. Let me share with you guys. I want to give you all a story because a lot of times people tell me, oh, no, that's not true. People don't take advantage of the system. I know y'all don't tell me that type of stuff because you know I'm going to find out, right? Here's the story. Let me tell y'all about this story about this woman named Candace. Not related to me at all. Who bought a Lamborghini while still being on Medicaid benefits. Let's hear about it. Still not so fast. Here we go. A Louisiana woman who purchased a Lamborghini while fraudulently obtaining Medicaid benefits is facing a fraud charge, authorities said this week. Candace Taylor, 35, of Slidell, dubbed the Medicaid millionaire. That's her name, y'all. Okay. By the Office of Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrow was arrested Monday. The State of Bureau of Investigation began looking into Taylor after receiving a complaint from the Louisiana Health Department saying she underreported her income to qualify for Medicaid benefits. That's what she did, y'all. This is her picture. Look at that Lamborghini. Okay. From 2021 through 2024, Ms. Taylor continued to transfer tens of thousands of dollars between her personal and business accounts, with personal inflows consistently exceeding the eligibility thresholds for Medicaid, the affidavit directly states. Medicaid provides health insurance for low income adults and children. Let's say it again for everyone in the back. It is health insurance for low income adults and children. The program is partially funded and primarily managed by state governments. The federal government establishes parameters for states to follow. However, each state administers their Medicaid program differently. Taylor initially applied for Medicaid in May 2019 under the alias Candace Sailor. So she changed her name. Okay. Listing a biweekly income of $1,900 and no dependents, authorities said. The application was denied. Less than a year later, she reapplied under the same misspelled name, prosecutor said. She was allegedly inconsistent with the year she reported having a dependent. Investigators eventually discovered she owned 6 different businesses that generated more than, y'all ready for this? $9.5 million between January 2020 and December 2024, according to the court documents. A look at her accounts revealed deposits totaling $480,994.09, with over $325,000 directly attributable to Taylor's business activities, authorities said. In addition, transfers and payments were disbursed from one account, including $45,086.65 in vehicle payments to Audi Finance, because she also has an Audi, just so y'all know. Other purchases included a $100,000 wire transfer to Tactical Fleet, an exotic car dealership, followed by a $13,000 debit card transaction for the purchase of a 2022 Lamborghini Urus, authorities said. Taylor also made multiple six-figure withdrawals via cashier's check, which allegedly funded property purchase, cosmetic surgery, high-end jewelry, and luxury services. 2 months after the Lamborghini, Taylor tried to renew her Medicaid benefits, claiming she made $4,000 per month with an unidentified business. However, she omitted that she was the owner, authorities said. Investigators also saw Taylor flaunting her lifestyle, of course, on social media, the Attorney General's official office said. So, yeah. Or AKA Sailor was her nickname, is out here in these streets lying for benefits. So when people sit down and say, no, oh my goodness, the Trump administration is horrible. They're cutting benefits and everyone on them, they need it. Do they? Do they? And this is one story of many, many stories like this. And I want you all to understand it, especially for the Christians out there, because a lot of Christians watch my content and there's some who actually understand and they agree with me. And then there are those who sit down here and want to come at me and tell me I don't know my roots. I don't know what I'm talking about. No one is doing anything fraudulent on this system. I am supporting white privilege. I'm gonna give you all something on that white privilege bit in a second. But the word says, and let me give you this. Proverbs 12 and 11. Those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies have no sense. You can't be out here talking about, I need the government to fix it for me. The Lord said, work the land. That's what you're supposed to be doing. For those who say there was nothing that she did was wrong, okay, the Lord detests dishonest scales, but accurate weights find favor with him. So she sat here this entire time knowing how much, $9.5 million. And she's lying on there saying she only makes $1,900 a month. Okay? So there are people who actually need it and can't get benefits. But then there are people sitting here lying. And y'all don't understand why everything has to be detoxed, reworked, audited. New systems have to be in place. If you are able bodied, you need to go to work. I don't understand. Why do you think that the rest of us should pay for you? I don't understand. And in 1 Timothy 5 and 8, it says, anyone who does not provide for their relatives and especially for their own household has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. So if you're sitting here collecting benefits and not getting up your lazy butt and going to work, you're part of the problem and you're worse than an unbeliever. And lastly, it says in Leviticus 19:11, do not steal, which she was doing. Do not lie, which she was doing. Do not deceive one another, which she was doing. A Lamborghini and an Audi. But a lot of times, like I said, people tell me, oh, you're just supporting white privilege. Let me, Anton Daniels was reacting to this video of a gentleman. And I want you to hear what this man was saying, because this man was spot on. Because we talk about white privilege so much, it's almost irritating. And they say I've been told I'm the black face of white supremacy, apparently, because I can see the difference. I can see truth. I know what God stands for. Understand. And let me make myself big real quick for y'all. I need y'all to understand something. In the Bible, the Lord speaks to the church. He says the church should help the poor. The church should help the widows. The church. He never said the government. He said the church. And I want y'all to understand why he said the church. Because we are a representation of Christ. That is who we are. So sometimes we are an answered prayer to the poor, to the sick, to the widows, to the orphans. We are an answered prayer. We are the face of Jesus to all these people. Sometimes we are the only Jesus that people sees. So that is why we are supposed to be helping, not looking towards the government, because what happens is once people start going to the government, because like a friend of mine pointed out, Jesus didn't go to the Roman Empire back in the Bible and say, hey, I need y'all to come and help. He ain't do that. Nope. He said the church will help. The reason why is because what will happen is that you will find a lot of people now looking at the government as their God. They will not look at the true source, which is God. They will not be leaning to Christ, seeking Christ's face for when they're down, when they're struggling, in their good times. They're not going to do that. No. They're going to keep running to their God, the government. That's what will happen. But like I said, a lot of times people like to call me the black face, I guess. I don't know, the black face of white privilege, white supremacy. I don't know. Y'all be coming up with some really amazing things. But I love how this man breaks down when people talk about white privilege, what that actually means and what privilege actually looks like. I want y'all to hear this. And this is from Anton Daniels. He's gonna commentate in there as well.
I'm so sick and tired of hearing about privilege. Privilege isn't being white, bonehead. Privilege is living in government housing and calling people oppressors while they pay your bills. Get it? I'm done pretending that any of this bull makes sense. You want to talk about privilege? You want to talk about real privilege? Real privilege is wearing $200 sneakers when you haven't worked a day in your life. Privilege is walking around with $300 Beats headphones while you're living on food stamps, while you're on public assistance, and it's paid for by people who wake up and grind every day. Privilege is having the latest smartphone with unlimited data and having zero idea where the bill goes because somebody else is always picking up the tab. Privilege is being able to protest every little thing that offends you without worrying about calling in sick to work because you don't have a job. Privilege is being able to cheat, lie, fail over and over again in life and still get bailed out while people who play by the rules get punished. That's privilege. This isn't about race. This isn't about class. This is about accountability. We've got a culture that rewards victimhood and demonizes work ethic and responsibility. Meanwhile, the people holding everything together for the rest of society, they get taxed into the ground. Their businesses get choked by regulation, and they get personally vilified for speaking up and saying that this is full. You want to talk about privilege? Then start with the people who've never paid the price, but who also scream the loudest. Because they've never had to build anything. They've never had to defend anything. They've never had to carry any real weight. And the reason they get away with it, it's because we don't live in a society of strong men anymore. No, that's been dismantled on purpose over the last 50 years. Because a society of strong men would never put up with any of this. And that's exactly why they came after us first.
And he is so deadly accurate, yo. Y'all been sending me videos of people that have been hitting on every single point. And let's just be absolutely clear. And the reason why they have to talk like this, and when I say they, I'm talking about white people that are disgusted at what the cultural norms are, and black people basically complaining. And I don't even think it's black people, of course. I think it's black culture. And there's a certain demographic of people, of black people, that are the loudest. They complain the most. Every single thing is racism. They've never experienced racism. They've never employed nobody. They've never actually went and did the things that would make you a productive member of society. They always talk about tax the rich. And then let's throw in the white apologists on top of that. You know, I was watching and I reviewed a video of a black woman that was going off on a black guy that was working at Walmart. And the white woman at the end, if you watched it all the way to the end, was apologizing to the woman. And she wasn't even familiar with the fact that the woman had basically offended and threw off and was trying to fight the guy that was just doing his job at Walmart. And so every last one of these people are easily offended, but never take any accountability for the role that they play in their lives.
And that, my dear, is privilege. Because that man was spot on. You're not working for anything. You're sitting on assistance. You want to vilify people that talk out against it. You're being lazy, which is against the word. You're upset when people speak out about it. I am always, first, foremost, always identify as a follower of Christ. That's it. There's no hyphen. That's who I am. Therefore, those who get upset and come in my comments and be like, well, you're the black face of white supremacy and white privilege. No, you're the ones that sit on the system and then want to complain. You want to talk about white privilege as you sit on the system. And mind you, the Lord said, those who don't work, you don't eat. That's the way I was raised. That's what I understand. So I've been working since I was like 12, 13. I've been working. That's what I've been doing. I don't want to be worse than an unbeliever. Can't even take care of my own home. I got to keep running to the government for assistance. No. Seek God first and foremost. Stop talking about white privilege, this, that, the other. Stop talking about all that and seek God's face. That's what you're supposed to be doing. That's it. The fact that this woman is sitting here basically playing the system, collecting benefits that people may really need while she's sitting here banking, bringing in $9.5 million, buying Lamborghinis. And there are more people out there, like that man said, wearing $200, $300, $400 shoes and still in the system. Make it make sense. As I keep saying, y'all better see God's face, because time is winding down and he's letting y'all know, like, he's through it. Let me just remind you, because people don't realize this. Proverbs 6:16 and 19 says, there are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush into evil, a false witness who pours out lies, and a person who stirs up conflict in the community. I want y'all to think about that, really reflect on that. And also Psalm 146, verses 3-5. Do not put your trust in princes, government, in human beings who cannot save. When their spirit departs, they return to the ground. On that very day, their plans come to nothing. Blessed are those whose help is the God of Jacob, whose hope is in the Lord their God, not the government. Okay? Anyway, that is all I have for y'all. I just wanted to do a quick video on this because, again, people keep saying, no one is taking advantage of benefits. No one is committing fraud. I guess y'all gonna have to take that back now. I'm guessing you're gonna have to take that back, because regardless of what you think, there are wicked people out here. There are people that do wicked things that are immoral. Remember that, instead of always putting your head in the chopping block, like my grandma always used to say, and saying, no, everybody's doing the right thing. The fact that there are illegal immigrants getting some of these benefits and they haven't even put into it like that. As my friend pointed out, they may have put in 100 million where we're paying out billions for them to be on the system. That should tell you something. They're not supposed to be on it. Okay. Anyway, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell, because that notification bell lets you know whenever I'm going live. Make sure you turn it on all so you can see all my videos. Like I said, I'm going to start doing some videos in the evening for y'all as well, just going through any news that we may have missed through the day. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please comment. Let me know. Do you know people, or have you heard of people taking advantage of the system like that? Because I know it's not just me, right? Anyway, thank you again for joining Crystal Beyond Labels, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.